Hey, yo, Boston, are you ready? You know what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 24 of the GRD Podcast. We got Jake, Kyle, Reid, and me, GRD. And we're ready to bring you the best content on Boston Celtics podcasting ever.
Oh.
And my fucking people keep calling me, and I'm going to get pissed off.
Sorry, hey, it wouldn't be a GRD pod episode if Corey didn't get a call in the middle of the call. He's a busy man. What can you expect? Busy men always get the phone calls. But real quick, we're going to break down this road trip, West Coast road trip. We'll take this a little bit game by game right here. First game, what was the first game? It was, I'm blanking on it. I had
so
it
long ago. Sacramento?
Sacramento?
No.
Yes,
No.
it was Sacramento.
No.
Golden State.
Golden State. Yeah.
Golden State. Yeah, so they, Golden State, that was an interesting game, huh? What do you guys think about that one?
Easy W. We already knew that was going to be a one.
Hey, that was my MVP pick, but he ain't playing.
How the hell did we lose to Sacramento Kings?
Because it was a Celtics Kings game, and Celtics always lose to the Kings. You even said it, Corey, last episode they were going to lose, or they always give us trouble at least. That's what you said.
No, I was thinking that they were going to beat them, but yeah, it just sucks. Like losing games that should be won. In that game, we didn't have Jaylen Brown or Marcus Smart, so it is what it is.
Or Pritchard,
like,
for that matter. I don't think.
Oh, we didn't even have Pritchard.
Slim shady.
But either way, Kemba shot like shit in that game, and the Celtics lost. This whole trip has been like up and down, back and forth. Like tonight, Boston Celtics versus Utah Jazz. If they win this game tonight, I think the road trip is a positive ending, and they come home, and I'll be happy. But other than that, like these games were kind of forgettable. Like nothing really stood out to me. Obviously, we were coming into these games without our best defensive player in Marcus Smart, and yeah, I mean, Kemba still can't play back-to-backs and stuff, and even when he plays, he still can't play. He's fucking shooting like shit. But in my opinion, I do think that everybody's overreacting, and I still think that Kemba's going to turn it around. The guy made the All-Star game last year, and people are acting like he's been out of the league for like 5 years. Like, they need to calm down. Like, he's not damaged goods whatsoever. He's going to change his game up a little bit, and he's going to fit in very well with these two Jays right now. I'm telling you that right now. We out here.
Yeah, I said before the road trip started that if we come out of this 3-2, that I consider a success. But I didn't expect to lose to the Kings. I didn't expect to beat the Clippers, so I was surprised by that. But I think Kemba, the thing about him is he needs to go back to doing what he's best at and do less of what he's not so good at. And what that is little try to draw as a foul on the 3-point line when he tries to stop at a dime. He needs to get more to the that mid-range free throw jump shot.
Mm-hmm.
So, Reid, do you think that, because I've noticed that too, but do you think that's because of his knee, like he's kind of babying it a little bit?
I just think that's his place. That's his style play he's had his whole career. Like that he could hit that shot efficiently in Charlotte, and that mid-range just hasn't gone away. He just takes too many bad shots. He gets some quality looks, but sometimes you're just hot, sometimes you're not. But he came out of the gate so hot when he came back from injury. Then he had a few string of bad games. Fans flip-flop saying that after one bad game, it's trade Kemba, and then after one good game, it's you guys got to apologize to Kemba. It's a toxic fan base as a whole.
It's like classic green teamers. One guy has one bad game and they want to ship him out. I mean, Kemba Walker, he needs to just get his legs back. That's what it's going to come down to. I mean, the guy's been out for what, 5 months now, 6 months, something like that. And he can't just come back and just be the all-star guy that he was. He needs to ease his way back into it.
Kyle, let these people know about Kemba Walker. What you thinking right now?
Get rid of him for the highest bidder. Get as much as you can.
Are you serious?
Come on.
I thought you were gonna come in and say all these Celtics fans are stupid idiots and that Kemba Walker's gonna return to his all-star level. Instead, you tell me trade him.
I don't think Kemba's gonna return to his all-star level. Not this year, at least.
But what changed so much? Do you think his knee injury is lingering that much that he's lost his ability to shoot the basketball and stuff? We're talking about a guy that is 1.5 years removed from dropping 60 points, bro. This is not this is not like some guy that got lucky 1 year and had a great year. This is a guy that has had like a very solid career, and he's like known for being a very durable player. Like he does not sustain injuries usually like this. Like his knee is really bothering him. He's a 30 or 31-year-old guy. Like I think that he just needs to change his game up, and he's gonna be a very good player down the stretch for Boston.
Well, you guys won't like what I actually think about it, so I might keep that one to myself and keep
No,
it in the
say it.
The fans
Spit it.
like it. The fans like
Spit
it.
it.
Send it.
Say it.
Send
You're
it.
on.
Because we all know you want to do a package trade Brad Stevens and Kemba Walker for I don't even know who we would get, but
So the reason I think Kemba's not going to get back to that point, when he was doing really well last year, that was when he was the number one option on Brad Stevens' team. Brad Stevens has always been pretty hard on his point guards, to where if you look at it, like Kyrie was never like a really injured player. Isaiah was never really an injured player, but with that, he makes the offense go through them, and they get banged up. I mean, they hit the floor hard a lot. So with that, I don't think Kemba was the kind of player that could sustain a lot of those things. Most point guards can't. So with that, I don't know. I just think Kemba does not work in Brad's offense as a third option. So I don't think with this team as a third option on the team, he's going to get back to his regular playing level.
Well, I think when you put it like that, sorry, let me.
That. It's okay. I respect his opinion, though. You could hit him, Reid.
Okay.
I think that with like the way that Tatum and Brown have been like kind of coming out as playmakers, that I think you can afford to play Kemba off ball more, and they haven't really done that. Like Tatum and Brown have been making some of the best plays of their careers this year in a larger role. That I don't think Kemba needs the ball in his hands so much to create, like move towards like a catch and shoot sort of deal, unless he's doing his little dribble pull up. But I don't know. I kind of get your point, but I do see. I think he's. I don't want to use the word regress, but I think he's kind of taken that step back to a third option, which is better than most teams around the league still.
And I think the fact, Reid, to your point, that he's taken as a third option now, it's not because that he's someone, quote unquote, like regress. It's because Tatum and Brown have taken such a huge leap. I mean, right. I'm sure you guys saw it when I think it was the Lakers game, the ESPN, they had that cool little motion graphic that was on the court, and it said like broke down Tatum and Brown's points per game throughout their careers. And I mean, they're both scoring at a career high level right now. Jaylen Brown's averaging 27 points per game. Obviously, Kemba Walker's not going to be the first option when you got like Brown playing so well.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing well, but I don't know, man.
I honestly, like, as we're talking about this, like, I wonder what the locker room chatter is like, because you got to think these guys are not playing like, oh, this guy could get traded, this guy is safe. Like, in their locker room, like, they're playing like all hands on deck. Like, let's get better, let's figure this out with the roster that we have. And I feel as though like Kemba Walker is still 1 year from the All-Star game and shit. Like, I think we all are overreacting a little bit on like the past like 8 games. I don't even think the guy has played 10 games yet. I feel as though like we're in a crazy ass year where like anything is going down, and I think we just need to chill. Like 100% just need to chill. Like, he's gonna get there. One thing I will say is this: like, he still needs to like not even go back to his last year, Kemba. I want him to go to 2 years ago, Kemba, and start killing teams and score like 40 points a game. I think that the guy has it in him still. Like, he's not like damaged goods. He's not 38 years old. Like, I think he could turn it back, and we're gonna see definitely. But we out here.
It's also like it's also like what's the rush?
Kemba train, so
Yeah, but you're also on the fire Brad Stevens and start Taco Fall train, so I don't know if I want to be in that train, Kyle.
Oh,
well, I mean, hey, Brad Stevens still has yet to win a championship, so my arm is still good, no tattoo yet, so we'll see.
Nah, you look good on that take so far.
No, it's like what's the rush though? I mean, you got probably a top 5 duo on your team, and they're both under the age of 25. So like, it's not like teams are. Yeah, fans are talking about making like an all-in trade this year when your 2 best players are 22 and 24. Like, what's the rush, really?
I wouldn't be.
Well, I wouldn't be upset if Kemba went for a pack. I wouldn't trade Kemba for another point guard. I think that would be stupid. I don't think you really get any better by doing that. The only way I'd trade Kemba is if you put him in a package with Tice or something and got significantly better at the big man role. Other than that, there's no reason to trade him.
Speaking of trades, though, what? You good?
I mean, I just want to stand pat on the big man. I really don't think that that's going to cost us games in the playoffs. I mean, going against Joel Embiid is going to be a huge ass challenge. But at the same time, I feel as though Brad Stevens is a very good coach, and when the time comes, they're going to have a good game plan for it. You got to realize the teams that have been successful over the last 10 years have not been teams that have paid big men big money. So having a big man on your team that's making $20 million a year is not the way to success, in my opinion. That's a position where you got to get pretty cheap on, and you could still do well there. I don't know.
Yeah, last year we ran a center by committee and it didn't work. I think that could work this year. I think Tristan Thompson's been a major upgrade over Enes Kanter, and Thompson I think has improved significantly on this road trip. He's been one of the people I've been most impressed with.
Yeah, he's had a quick turnaround.
You gotta give your tip your cap to Robert Williams. The guy is showing us a little bit this year that we haven't seen, and I'm still on the train of why does this guy not play 25 minutes a game?
Exactly.
And
I've long been on that.
And yeah. And if we get our asses handed to us in those 25 minutes, I want to see it. I just don't know why it hasn't happened much. It's just annoying, but we out here. I think the Celtics are definitely gonna keep those three centers at least for the rest of this year. But I could be wrong.
I'd be fine with that.
Anything could happen. Yeah, I would too. I think that we could pummel some fucking teams in the playoffs with those three guys. That's my opinion. And yeah, some series Tice might be unplayable just because his play is just not what we need against that team. But that's when Tristan Thompson and Robert Williams might go off. You never know. We'll see.
Yeah, speaking of the big men, the Celtics have, there are some that they don't have, and Danny Ainge made this clear. He said that in an interview, I believe it was on Toucher and Rich on 98.5 The Sports Hub. He said that they're going to target a big man that can shoot. So in my eyes, this screams Harrison Barnes from the Kings. Harrison Barnes is scoring the ball.
Harrison Barnes is a big man?
Yeah, he's a 4.
Small ball 4.
Yeah. So the way I look at it is...
He said big man. He said he wants somebody with size.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I feel saying somebody is a big man and a shooter with size is two different things. What do you say?
No, you're probably right. Well, regardless, he said he wants a 4 or 5 that can shoot.
You're right. I'm just being a jerk.
Nah, you're good. So when I heard that quote, I automatically thought of Harrison Barnes. We saw him in that Kings game. He did have a decent game against us. I believe he's averaging around 14, 17 points per game, and he's shooting a very, very efficiently. I believe he's shooting 50% from the field, right around there. So he's very good this year, and that would be a guy that, would be perfect for this team. Not only does he bring that play style that Danny Ainge is targeting, he brings in a championship caliber, vet to the team because he won with Golden State. He was a big part of those Golden State teams in the beginning of that dynasty. Obviously, he left to get paid, but he was a decent role in those teams.
Yeah, when I first heard that snippet from Ainge, my heart went to Harrison Barnes, but my brain instantly went to PJ Tucker. I think that's the more realistic option, which is fine for me. His market's much lower. I think he's much more feasible to grab him. But I think he's just an older Grant Williams in the sense that he's a undersized big, probably a play at the 4. I doubt we use him at the small ball 5 like the Rockets did. Granted, he's only 6'5", but he's durable for such an old player. He's playing a handful of minutes each night, and he can knock down the corner 3 and give us some more spacing that maybe Grant can't really provide us with.
The main thing is that you got to think about always. It takes 2 to tango, and the Sacramento Kings, they might not be sellers at the deadline. They could think in their head oh, we're just a player or 2 away from making the playoffs this year, and we don't want to get rid of Barnes, and he's on a fairly decent deal. I wouldn't say he's on like a very good deal. I think he's making like $20 million for the next 3 years, which I've said in the past, like I do want to trade for a player that is under contract for 3 years to be in that window with Jalen and Jason and build something for not just this summer, but for next year, the year after too. So Harrison Barnes does fit the mold, but I'm not 100% all in on Harrison Barnes, and we'll see what happens. Like you guys always know my opinion on trades, and I'm like, I kind of like to talk about them after they happen. I don't really like to speculate because there's like so many rabbit holes that you can go down for every single player and every single deal. It's like, I don't know. We out here though.
Kyle, what do you think about it?
Well, I've been kind of quiet on this because I've been going back through all NBA champions of all time. And I know Corey thinks that you don't need a center, but going through all NBA champions all
I
time.
never said you don't need a center.
Well, you said you don't really
In order to start a basketball game, you need 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a fucking center, dude. You need a center. Never said you didn't need a center.
Well, what I mean is like you're saying, oh, you don't really got to pay the man. You could win a championship with a center like Tice.
JaVale McGee is a 2-time, 3-time
MVP.
Finals, 3-time finals champion. And I doubt that he made more than like $5 or $6 million on all those fucking teams.
No, but what I'm saying is very, very, very rarely does it happen where a team wins with without at least an all-star level center. If you go back through all the history, the Golden State Warriors did it, the 91 through 93 Bulls did it, but other than that, most teams had like an all-star level or Hall of Fame level center in them. That's why I think it is something that's important.
Okay. Who did the Cavs have?
What do you mean? When they won?
Yeah, who did the Cavs have when they won?
Tristan Thompson.
But other than that, who else did they have, though?
We have him. We have a former player that made freaking close to max money.
And who was the power forward on that team?
You can't. So, Kyle, I'm with you on this take, but Kevin Love had an awful finals run that year. He had like
bad finals run, but they don't get in that position without him, though.
They literally had LeBron James on the team.
Okay.
No,
the Cleveland Cavaliers for 1 year, the Golden State Warriors, the first three-peat of the Bulls. Other than that, I mean, you got Bill, you got Wilt, you got Kareem.
Why are we talking about the fucking?
Yeah, I'm very confused.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you go back, that covers almost 3 decades. Like,
bro, I'm talking about the last 10 years. The game has changed. There was not a 3-point line back then, bro.
It doesn't matter.
We're talking about
you need a center. What I'm saying is you need a good center.
Okay, who was the good center on the Boston Celtics team?
When we won?
Yeah.
I'd make the argument for KG.
Perkins.
You can say Perkins was the center, but you need a big man, like a good big man.
I'm so lost in what your point is.
No, I mean, Kyle, I know what you're saying, Kyle. But to Corey's point too, right? We have the centers right now. Could we have an upgrade? Sure, but we already have 3 good centers.
Listen, all I'm trying to say is the NBA is a salary cap league where it's kind of like playing Monopoly with your roster, and it's a lot smarter to put your chips into the wing positions than to pay a center like $20 million. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that it's going to bring success, blah, blah, not paying a center. But all I'm saying is, like, that's a very good position that you could lowball players and get production out of them for small money and then go big on the wings and stuff. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, of course, your point we started last year.
You're fucking bringing up Wilt Chamberlain and motherfuckers that have been dead for fucking 20 years and shit. I'm trying to talk about the last 10 years.
To your point, though, last year Lakers did it. JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard. Those are 2 very good centers. I mean, also, yes, they did have AD Cannon or that, but those are 2 really good cheap centers. Yeah. Yeah. But anyways, going back to the topics, let's talk about
and the Boston Celtics too. Tristan Thompson, $9 million. Robert Williams, $5 million. What's the other guy's name?
Daniel Tice.
Daniel Tice, he's $5 million. Who's the
No,
other guy?
Rob Williams. Tom
You
Williams.
said
Robert
Rob
Williams
Williams.
on his rookie. Yeah, Robert Williams is on his rookie deal. He's sub $5 million. My bad.
Yeah, like
We got
2.5.
there.
No, but I mean, there's a lot of people that Celtics could target. Whether it's the Harrison Barnes, PJ Washington, whatever it is.
PJ
But let's talk
PJ
about.
Tucker. PJ
Sorry,
Tucker.
I'm sorry. PJ Tucker.
It's all good.
Sorry. No, but moving on though, let's talk about the All-Star game. I wrote an article for this on LWO Sports, and the All-Star game for the NBA this year, although I would love to see it happen because I want to see Jaylen Brown be named and play in the game, it's so stupid to have the All-Star game. It's so stupid. We're in the middle of a pandemic. You're going to put the entire league, for not the entire league obviously, but like the majority of the league, the best
Are we
players
in the middle
league.
of the pandemic?
I would argue that we are. Or at least not.
Well,
We're not through it.
halfway over.
We're not through it.
Nah, I know what you mean. Nah, I'm with you on it.
Wait, hold on.
In the sense of, okay, we out.
Let me spit this out real quick. So my whole argument was that yes, would it be awesome to have an All-Star game? Yes, it would be awesome to have that. Normally All-Star weekend, a great annual holiday in the NBA, right? The one thing though I will say that is that, with the pandemic going on, you can't bring everybody in the league to one central location without doing massive amounts of quarantining and COVID tests and have it run successfully to have a good season in the second half. You cannot do it. But do what the NFL did. You could do some virtual All-Star game. They did that for the Pro Bowl. They played Madden 21. And they elected Pro Bowl teams. Although they couldn't play, players were still recognized for what they did. Do that. So guys like Jaylen Brown, those first guys, Devin Booker, they can get elected to be in the All-Star game for the first times in their careers. But don't...
Wasn't Devin Booker in it last year?
Well, yeah, he was in it, but he was like a sub. So, yes, he was in it, but he was a sub. He wasn't elected, voted in. But regardless, just do it so people can get recognized for it. But please, for the love of God, don't have the All-Star game. It's going to shut down the league.
Yeah, I mean, if I don't really have it, don't have it, not our call. But as long as you give recognition to those who deserve it, then I have no problem with it not being a thing this year.
It does kind of suck though for like players that are playing out of their mind and like guys like Tobias Harris having a crazy season in Philadelphia this year. Like he was gonna go to the game. Like I don't know, Jaylen Brown was gonna make his first All-Star game in Atlanta, which is his home city. Like that's a
maybe even
crazy
start
deal.
Honestly. Maybe even start.
Yeah, the people have him starting. Take him off the bench.
It's definitely a possibility. I mean, at the same time, like, I don't know. As a fan, like, that loves sports, I feel as though they should just play it and we out here. But at the same time, like, I'm not somebody that's thinking that this virus is, like, really that bad, this, that. Like, I feel like all these healthy young players are going to be fine. Like, I would say, like, half of these players already had the freaking virus anyway, so we good.
Well, Corey, to your point, though, like, yes, are the players going to get very sick and possibly die? Probably not. I mean, these are like, they're the best peak performance that you could get as a human being. And so, right, that's probably not going to happen. But my point is that when they get it, you have to sit out. And if one person gets it on the All-Star game, you got to do all those close contacts, and you have to sit out. And let me say this, too. The February 5th incident with Kevin Durant, but that whole craziness that happened with him, if they sat out Kevin Durant in abundance of cautions, the league said, right? So you do that to make sure no one else, gets it, and God forbid if he had it, right? We get that. But to go out and have an All-Star game, that literally counterproducts what you just said. Like you're shooting yourself in the foot when you do that. It makes no sense. So pick a take and stay with it is my thing. If you're going to do an abundance of caution, cancel the game. If you don't care, have the game. But just, stick to your point.
To be honest, like, I still do not understand, like, how the NBA has not, like, vaccinated all the players. Like, it is what it is. Like,
It's
I'm
not
not
up to the
trying
NBA.
I mean, it should be, like,
It's the government thing, though.
I don't care about the government. Like, basketball is bigger than the government. In my opinion,
It's true.
like, dude, these guys have a stupid amount of money. Like, instead of giving my grandmother the vaccine, give that shit to LeBron James. My grandma ain't playing in the All-Star game. She's not entertaining anybody.
Give it
Let
to
her
Pritchard.
let her stay in her retirement home and let my boys go to ATL and live it up. Throw some ones at the strip club and stimulate the economy and stimulate an All-Star game. I think that it should go down. That's my take. And, yeah, I don't know.
Well, Corey, would you...
You're talking to the guy that just went to the Super Bowl I was just fucking twerking in Tampa all week, acting wild. But I also tested negative, so we out here.
Would your take change though if you heard guys like LeBron James, Giannis, and Kawhi and James Harden have all said, when LeBron quote had zero entrance and zero energy to play in the All-Star game, none of those guys want to play at all?
To be honest, like I'm not saying that I would lose respect for players that didn't want to play, but instead of that, I would flip it and I would say, okay, cool, don't come.
Yeah, that was my take on that too.
Let more guys come. More opportunity for players that actually want to come. And vote a couple of new guys in. Maybe Peyton Pritchard makes the game this year. If LeBron wants to be a little cautious, then I respect it. Stay home, and Peyton Pritchard will be an all-star.
I respect it. Kyle, what do you think?
Can't wait till we end up on freezing cold takes because of GRD saying vaccinate the players instead of his grandmother.
How is that a
NBA rules over the government? Which I agree. I don't disagree.
I mean, at the same time, like, we're talking about a vaccine that, like, I don't know. I'm not a scientist or anything, but
You're not?
I could pass for one. I could definitely wow some people with my knowledge about science. Anyways, all I'm saying is this. I feel as though the league should already, like, vaccinate the players, and we should already been voting these players in and getting all-star jerseys and shit like that. Like, I'm just a fan of the game, and I want more basketball, and I want an all-star game, and I want to recognize these players for having amazing seasons, because this is something that, like, plays a big deal in these players' career in the sense of, like, getting paid more, like, all of that stuff. Like, this is like a legacy builder for a lot of these players too. Like, I think it's just very important, and not having it due to the virus would just be, like, devastating to a lot of these players that are going to be making this game for the first year.
Yeah. Maybe, Corey, to your point, though, you can still elect them and have all those benefits, but not actually play the game.
That's my biggest thing. Like, it doesn't matter to me as long as they just recognize those who.
Yeah, just recognize it. I'm not saying.
Yeah.
I don't want them to play it. That's my take. I don't want it to happen, but recognize them. Definitely recognize them.
Yeah, these are like career accolades.
The craziest part about all of this, and it's kind of funny, like, just between all of us, like, they could elect them all, and I'm telling you, like, I want an all-star game and stuff, and for the same reason as you guys, like, I just want these guys to get recognition. Like, I'm telling you guys this, like, I don't even watch the all-star game. Like, I think it's, like, a waste of time, and it's stupid. I like the skills Saturday night. That's pretty cool and stuff, but, like, I do agree in the sense, like, watching the all-star game is kind of stupid anyway, so, like,
I think the new format they did last year ran to perfection. I wanted them to keep doing that more. It's said like a final end score, like a goal score for the end of the game. I think that's a way to generate more interest.
Yeah, that was cool.
Last year was definitely something to talk about, and not even that. Like, it was just cool to see, like, them selecting the teams. What was it, LeBron and Giannis last year?
And they did the Kobe stuff too.
I just remember this.
Yeah.
Nick Nurse was the coach for that team, and I remember Kemba played an unnecessary amount of minutes that game, and he had knee problems ever since.
Well, he was a starter. They have to play the starters a lot more. That was, I mean,
they don't
have to. Jimmy Butler got elected like 3 years ago. Didn't even touch the floor because he was hungover. Like, you don't need to play these guys.
Yep. Nick Nurse did that because we were playing Toronto the next night or some shit.
Yeah, who knows?
And that Kemba's still feeling it.
One thing I was thinking of, though, is do you guys remember a couple of years ago when they, the NBA usually does a big, it's like a festival in the NBA, right? That's the best way I could put it, All-Star Weekend. But do you guys remember, and like the big press conference that they do at All-Star Weekend, Adam Silver released a jersey that could change, I think it was change colors or change numbers?
Like, the numbers.
Have you guys heard anything about that? Because I remember hearing about it, I was like, that's sick. And then you just never heard anything from it again.
Nah, I never even saw that. You got to look that up and post a blog about it.
Yeah, I'll post it on the page if I can find the video again. I remember watching the video. It was awesome.
I know you're talking about.
Phone, and he was like, oh, this is like LeBron's jersey, and then it was Michael Jordan. I was like, what? Like, how did that happen? It was sick.
That's crazy.
But that's been another episode of the GRD Podcast. As always, thank you guys for checking us out. Make sure you guys leave the 5-star rating on Apple Podcast. Subscribe and like if you're on the YouTube side. And
hopefully you'll listen to this after the Celtics beat the Jazz.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Right, what are we? about 30 minutes from tip-off at the time of recording this. But until then, we'll catch you guys next week.